Hello. So I'm Shiraishi from a data visualization team. So let me begin my presentation. Why does Line run the Japanese Bootstrap site? So that is the topic of my presentation. Are you interested in contribution to the OSS? I hope that you will experience how quickly you can do it. Let me introduce myself. I joined the line in 2014 as a web director, and in 2018, I became a front engineer. I usually use Vue.js, and in a recent project, I used the Vue 3. And CSM framework that I used first time was the Bootstrap. And ever since, I've been using Bootstrap. This is my agenda. It's a bit of a lot of contents, but I just want to keep the good cadence since it's just 10 minutes. So let me introduce the contribution to the OSS at the Line front end. So in Line, we are contributing in a different ways and contribution to the source code and provisions of the source code, and then we communicate information through the translated site, voice service, and meetup. So let me talk about the translated site, Japanese site. So this is our site, and the left-hand side is the original site, and the right-hand side is the Line Japanese Bootstrap site. In 2018, we started translating version 4.1, and we've been operating the translated site up to the version 5. And so currently, at present, on monthly basis, it has grown to the 40,000 users and 100,000 sessions and 400,000 page views. And it's listed in advantageous position with the Google search. If you search with the Bootstrap, then you get the Japanese site first and the original site second. So I'd like to talk about why does Line run this Japanese site. So this is a trend of the number of download of a Bootstrap using NPS trend. It keeps growing up to now and onward. This is the survey on a CSS framework that is most often used by project. And the left-hand side is the global and right-hand side is a line. As you can see, the Bootstrap is the most used in both global and line. So because of the strong demand, we decided to build a Japanese site. And we also developed multiple CSS toolkits dedicated to Line. One of them is the Koromo. The Koromo is based on the Bootstrap so that the engineer can get used to it quickly. And currently, many projects internally are using this. And it is required to use the latest version as a policy. So therefore, the necessary feature fix and the bug fix should be implemented. So we are catching up the latest information from a GitHub or the public official reference. And to be honest with you, I wanted to read it in Japanese, but back then there was no Japanese documentation. This is the version 4.1 site capture, and this is the list of the Bootstrap translated site. And then if you translate and build the site, the link of the site will be added in the list. So we thought if it doesn't exist, why don't we build it by ourselves? So we built the site, and then we pulled the request, and then it's merged. And then from the version 4.2, the Japanese site is linked from the original site. And this was how we started. And the Line promoted this kind of activities. So let me talk about the launch process and operation. We estimated the schedule, and we translated one page, and it took 10 minutes, and there are about 60 pages. And if we use 2 people, it's going to be about the 5 hours work per person. And if we use the 1 hour per day, and then we estimated as 1 week. And then, of course, we contributed to OSS within work hours. And then once we set up the schedule, we actually built the schedule site, and then we translated it. And we use the configuration of the original site. And we cloned the original site, and then we markdown file. We translated a markdown file, and once it's completed, markdown file is converted to HTML. In the version 4 of Bootstrap, the site generator is a Jekyll. And so the Hugo was used as in a version 5, and then we created the HCM, and then we hosted with the GitHub page, and it's a very light configuration. And then this is about translation, and we defined a simple rules so that, for example, titles are kept in English, and because some people may search with the English, and then we, in parentheses, we added the Japanese for the search in Japanese. And then sometimes we made a mistake and we estimated the translation as 10 minutes, but sometimes it took 30 minutes, so we couldn't finish all in 1 week. Therefore, we decided which part to be translated. So after translating 70% of the contents, we opened the site. And then after we opened the site, we increased the access by access analysis and SEO. For example, this is a page view that we released in the component. Alerts were most looked up, which we didn't expect. It was easy to understand the reason. Look at the right-hand side. Look at the sidebar, and then that alerts are displayed in the top of the components, so a user can easily click it. So therefore, we privatize the contents for translation. And when we do that, we decided to consider the position of the sidebar. And then also example has a certain accesses. So we raise the priority of the examples. And 80% of the site traffic comes from the Google. So therefore, we target the Google search as for our SEO. So search keyword is monitored using the Google Search Console. We check that which keywords have the large displays and the large numbers, and so that we can use it to run the site. And so if you search the Bootstrap Japanese with Google, that you get this result. Sometimes that the past version is in the top of the list. And this is a Spina's search result. And at the present, we have updated document up to the version 4.5. But older version is displayed. As the content has not been changed much from 4.2 to 4.5, it seems new version receives a penalty from Google, as it is the same configuration of the original site. We didn't change to fix this order. As a countermeasure, we suggested to look up the latest version using a banner. So this way, now that the user keep growing, and currently 40,000 users per month is achieved. So next is a trade-off that we had. The first one is the output first, and we open the site when we completed up to the 70%. And as for the typo, and we correct typos as we find out. And secondly, we focus on the high priority ones. For example, except for the latest version, we don't have a clean build environment. So therefore, if we find a typo in a past version, we directly modify the post-built HTML file with an editor. And also, if we set up the hypothesis by looking at the data, we don't perform the initiatives that don't have a much impact. Lastly, let me share the 3 advantages through this project. First, I can do anything, like from the planning to the site running. I was able to experience something that I wouldn't in my usual work. Second, I received a lot of surrounding knowledge, especially the SEO was so deep and it was very fun. And third, I got a lot of opportunities. I had opportunity to talk to the expertise in our company. Also, I got an opportunity to take a podium today. This may lead to something new. Likewise, you can easily contribute to OSS. And if you find untranslated sites which are new to all, it's going to be very good for you to challenge. I'll be very happy if the web industry in Japan is vitalized further. Thank you very much.